Hello friends, welcome to the lecture number 5 of Microprocessor and Peripherals Interfacing course. In today's lecture, we are going to study about the memory segmentation. So, at the end of this lecture, you will be able to understand and define what is memory segmentation in 8086, what are the different memory segments in 8086, and what are the advantages of having this memory segmentation. So, let us start with it. As we have seen in the first lecture, architecture of 8086 microprocessor, it has 20 address lines. And because of that 20 address lines, at a time, it is able to access 2 raised to 20, that is 1 megabyte of memory. And this 1 megabyte of memory is divided into different sections, and this concept is called as memory segmentation in 8086. So, whatever is this main memory, it is logically divided into different segments. That means this is not permanent, but it is divided by the programmer into different parts based on the data or based on the values which are stored in that memory. And this memory segmentation basically helps to enhance the speed of execution of the computer system. And how does it enhances the speed? So basically, as the different parts are stored in the different segments of the memory, it is very much easier for the processor to fetch and execute the data from the memory easily and fast. So these are the different memory segments, and each segment has its own base address. How? That we will see in the coming slides. So what is this memory segment exactly? The memory segment is a logical unit of memory that may be up to 64 kilobytes long. That means based on the logic, whether what we have to store in that memory, it can be a code, it can be a data, or it can be some other stack values. So based on this logic, we have divided the segment into a logical unit that is called as the memory. Now the maximum length of each memory segment is 64 kilobytes. Keep this in mind. The maximum length of any memory segment is of 64 kilobytes. Now this memory segment should be made up of a contiguous memory locations. It cannot have one location at some other part, the second location at some other part, and this distributed locations cannot form a memory segment. To form a segment, all the locations should be in a contiguous format, and its maximum length can be 64 kilobytes. Now, each memory segment is an independent and separately addressable unit. Each segment is having its own unique address, and they all are separated from each other. That's why they are called as the different segment. Now, the starting address of any memory segment are not defined or prefixed. They are not nowhere defined in the architecture. The starting address of a memory segment can be changing, and it is decided by the programmer. Okay, there is one note over here that your 8086 can access 1 megabyte of memory, but it does not work on the whole 1 megabyte of memory at any given time. It has 4 segments, and each segment can be of maximum 64 kilobyte. So it works only with this 464 kilobyte segments within the whole 1 megabyte of memory. Now, what are the different memory segments in 8086? So basically, we have defined 4 segments. The first one is the code segment, then the data segment, then the extra segment, and the stack segment. They are very well defined by their names. The code segment is a part of the memory which stores the executable program. We call that program as a code, and that code in the binary format is stored in this code segment. Now, data segment stores the data on which the processor will be operating. That data is stored in the data segment. Extra segment is nothing but another data segment. If in case your data segment falls short of, we can use this extra segment for storing the data values. Then stack segment. The stack segment is the part of memory which is used to store stack data. Stack basically points to the next instruction which is to be executed. That all values comes in stack. Now these are the 4 segments: CS, DS, ES and SS. Code segment, data segment, extra segment and stack segment. Now to store the starting address of these segments, we have segment register. We have seen in the register organization. The base address of every segment is stored in their particular segment register. So CS register, the code segment register, stores the base address of code segment. The data segment register stores the base address of data segment. And the extra segment register stores the base address of the extra segment. And the stack segment register stores the base address of the stack segment. So this is just a table which gives you where the base addresses and the offset addresses of that particular segment is stored. For example, for the code segment, the base address is stored in the code segment register and its offset address is stored in the index instruction pointer register. Okay. For the data segment, the base address is stored in the data segment register and the offset register can be stored in BX, DI or SI register. Similarly, for the stack segment, the base address is stored in the stack segment register and the offset address can be stored in the stack pointer or the base pointer register. For the extra segment, the base address is stored in the extra segment register and the offset register can be stored in BX, DI or SI. So these are the base address and offset address holders of the particular segment. Now, what is this base and offset address? That we will see in the last slide. Now, let us understand how the memory segmentation is done. To understand the concept of this and their addresses, let us take an example of a classroom. Listen very carefully. There is a classroom. There are 4 rows in a classroom and in each row there are 10 benches. So if we'll consider the first row, the first bench will have a number 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up to 10. Right? Similarly, in the second row, you will have 11, 12, 13 up to 20. The third row will have 21, 22 up to 30 and the fourth row will have 31, 32 up to 40. So if I consider 0 as the base address, 1 as the base address for the first row and I will go on adding from 0 to 9. I will have 1, 2, 3 up to 10. Similarly, for the second row, if I consider 10 as the base address and I go on adding 1, 2, 3 up to 9 in that, I will have 11, 12, 13, 14 up to 20 in that. That means base address in which the offset address is added will give you the exact location. So for the first row, if my base address is 0, I will go on adding 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10. So 1 to 10 is my offset address and 0 was my base address. Base address 0 plus 1 gave me the total address 1. 0 plus 2 gave me the total address 2 in the first row. Now for the second row, I have the base address as 10. So at the first location, base address 10 plus the offset address 1 gave me 11. Base address 10 plus offset address 2 gave me the total address 12 and like that. Similarly, for the third row, my base address is 20. 20 plus 1 is 21, 20 plus 2 is 22. Like that, my base address was 0 and just I kept on adding the offset addresses and I got all the locations in my segment. The similar case is shown in the slide. Just have a look at it. Here, there are 4 segments, ES, CS, SS and DS. The base addresses of each of these segments are shown over here. The base addresses are nothing but the upper 16 bits of the starting address. Okay, whatever is the starting address of the segment, address in 8086 is of 20 bits. Whereas we have registers only of 16 bits. So that upper 16 bits of the starting address are stored in this segment registers. So the other 4 bits are calculated using the offset register, which is again of 16-bit. So let us see over here. For the data segment, our segment register is holding 2000. So the data segment will have the starting address 20,000. It is a 20-bit address, and the maximum length of any segment is 64 KB. 64 KB, if you will write in the binary, in the hex format, it will give you FFFF. So this starting address plus the length 64 KB, I will end up at 2FFFH. So this is the ending address of your segment, and this is the starting address of your segment, and the total length of the segment is 64 KB. As we can see over here, the code segment starts from the next location, that is 3000. So 30,000 is the starting address of the code segment. The length is of 64 KB. So the ending address will be of 3FFFH. Like that, here the next location given for the stack segment register is 5000. So the starting address of the stack segment will be 50,000. 4 times F is added to it because of the 64 KB length, and then the ending address will be 5FFFF. Like that, the memory segmentation is shown, and there can be more than one segment, but these are the 4 basic segments. So this was about the addressing and memory segmentation. Now, memory segmentation can have 2 types of segment. One is overlapping segment, other is non-overlapping segment. Overlapping segment is very simple. The maximum length is 64 kilobytes. But if you have one segment and before its maximum length, that is 64 kilobytes, if any other segment starts within the 64 KB locations, it is called as the overlapping segment. Non-overlapping means it will have its maximum size of 64 kilobytes, and after that, from some other location, the other segment will start. That is called as the non-overlapping segment. Now, what are the advantages of this memory segmentation? First thing, because of this memory segmentation, there is a perfect and a powerful memory management mechanism. All the data is separated and stored in its particular locations. So if I want data related, if I'm performing data related operations or stack related operations, the processor will access the content from that particular segment, and it can be performed in the different segments. Similarly, your code related operations can be done in a separate code segment. Because of this, easy sharing of all the data is possible. Also, the memory segmentation extends the addressability of the processor. For this, we know that 8086 is a 16-bit processor. All the registers in it are 16-bit. So if we will use only the 16-bit register, we will be able to address only 2 raised to 16 locations. But 8086 is able to address 1 megabyte of memory. How is this possible? By using the memory segmentation and using the concept of base and offset addresses. Similarly, if we feel that the 64 KB, which is the maximum length of segment, that is not enough, the memory size of code, data or stack segment can be enhanced beyond 64 KB by allotting more than one segment for that particular required area. This is one example how to calculate the physical address. The physical address is a 20-bit actual address, whereas the logical addresses are the addresses which are present in the register, which are 16-bit. So if I have a segment address like this, and segment address is nothing but the higher 16 bits of the starting address, and this is the offset address. So the process is you have to first shift to the left side by 4 positions the segment address or the base address. Shifting to the left means padding it by zeros on the right hand side, and then simply adding with the offset address. Whatever we will get by adding will be called as the physical address. So in hex system, shifting to the left by 4 bits is nothing but multiplying by 10h. So the formula for physical address is segment address into 10h, 10 in hexadecimal, plus offset address. This is the memory segmentation and its address calculation. Thank you. See you in the next lecture.